look different than the regular archetype that is shown in men. How toxic anger can block your manifestations in dating, in love, with money, success, finances. Let's have a real talk on how anger actually sabotages you. Now, I want to make this very clear. Anger is a healthy emotion that teaches you when somebody's crossing your boundaries. When it's unhinged, though, and it can look different for women, it actually is harmful to you. Okay. And you might not totally see it because it's not like you're acting out of rage or wanting to be aggressive, but it can be anger in your thought forms and how you interact with life. And maybe that anger has fueled you in the past to manifest other things. But maybe if you haven't been able to manifest them like you used to, there's a reason why. And I'm going to teach you how to change that today. There's also a masterclass healing event where we reprogram the unconscious, the top 17 causes and reasons and beliefs that make a woman angry, or people really, and how that caps your manifestation. So it's going to help you manifest with ease, and it's going to help you receive like in a magnetic way. All right. And so once again, I'm not going to teach you something toxic today. I'm not going to invalidate your anger. In fact, I'm going to support it and I'm going to help nurture it so that you do live an authentic life. So I'm going to have a real conversation with you. So please listen, because one of the things that I notice is, anger can be a symptom of the fight response. Okay. The fight response is what we do when we feel under survival and we are triggered. Okay. But imagine being triggered 24/7 or having to access that point of trigger or a sense of unsafety for a woman and needing to manifest from that angle. That's why you see so many conversations about the woman that is hustling, the woman that, like it's a side hustle, you have to grind, you have to have grit. Like there's so many conversations online about how anger fuels you. And I'm going to explain to you why that is true, but on a big degree, it can be toxic to you and it's not going to give you the ultimate results that you want. Point blank, anger can give you adrenal fatigue. You know what I mean? I've worked with a lot of successful women that they used anger to fuel their manifestations for so long. It kept them single. They made millions, sure, but they were fatigued. They were so tired. Welcome. I hope that this message connects with you. So, and invite others to join as well. So, anger is not ultimately like a woman's biggest friend. The answer is that it's joy. All right. It's not anger. But if you're not manifesting joyfully, you're probably manifesting with sadness, with grief, with anger. Now, like I said, I'm not spiritual, like I'm not spiritually bypassing an emotion. If anybody knows my work or my clients know my work and you can see it in the testimonials, I address so much the component of emotions and I help my clients process emotions through process of kinesiology and different forms of energy healing to help you release the blueprint of that emotion so that you can be more joyful and happy. And these are not just esoteric words. Hello there, welcome. There's a reason why I address them, because I've seen how certain emotions, if we stay stuck on them for years, they start to determine our reality, what we perceive of life, of God, of others, whether we trust others or not. And unfortunately, nowadays, so basically, see, please exit. I don't need like that kind of comment. Thank you very much. So there's a lot of people online. You're seeing so many messages from angry women, and I understand anger. Like I said, anger does serve a purpose. Okay, but that's not the ultimate state of empowerment. In fact, you might be surprised that behind anger, I'm hearing a lot of men wouldn't be surprised, but some women would. Men would understand that ultimate anger is not a form of power. It's in fact, it's a form of disempowerment. But I'm getting a lot of women believe that being the angry woman is the most powerful space you can be, right? And I'm getting black women, not necessarily, because we understand like the archetype of the angry woman. And we understand that there is the loneliness attached to that, like having to consistently defend yourself from that angle. So Let me start. All right. I hope that this message resonates with you. And remember, my program, Clear Your Anger, it's on an early bird today, only for today, where you can save over $600 just for today. And it's a program that we're going to clear the top 17 reasons why people are angry so that you can access true joy and easy manifestations from the inside out. Right. So, and manifest like the one. I want to show you the different ways in which anger, toxic anger, is not good for your manifestations. Anger in its healthy form teaches you when somebody is trespassing your boundaries. It's teaching you, if it's moving you into courage, into saying yes to you, then it's a healthy emotion, right? If it's moving you into courage. If you stay in anger for many years, you're actually like you have a lot of actually negative belief systems on the inside, disempowering belief systems on the inside. Okay, you might not believe that life is fair. You might feel like people are toxic. You might have anger at like you might have anger at, I'm just going to blur out like some of the top 17 ones. Actually, I should say the first three. The first three reasons for anger that I asked intuitively, because my name is Nicole Lisa. I'm a love coach, femininity coach, and intuitive. I'm a psychic. And I do good. I'm not doing anything weird or taking away your free will. You know what I mean? I started to develop this with the help of, God source and like the angels, because I wanted to help people out. I've been studying femininity like for 12 years, inside and out, even when I'm sleeping. And was very committed to truth, and peace. So on one end, okay, the top three belief systems that the angels told me that people are most angry about are an anger at not having money, an anger at not having money, an anger at not being able to control and get what they wanted the way that they wanted to, like what they desired, and three, an anger at the world. Now, a lot of empaths, a lot of how do I call this? A lot of empaths, a lot of light workers, a lot of highly sensitive people. We are familiar with a lot of emotions, right? But society is not teaching us how to process these emotions in a healthy way. And so what's happening is that there's like 17 reasons why, or main belief systems, what make people angry. But some of them are suppressed or repressed. So we're not fully even owning that we're angry, or that behind that there's a sense of hopelessness or helplessness, or a sense of feeling unseen or unmet by people. Okay. You first want to acknowledge that, like, anger can be a surface emotion that is covering up pain or sadness or hurt. But then what happens is that underneath that, you don't believe that you can change these things because you feel at effect or at mercy of the world and of your reality. And you feel like you're going to have to effort. And what you feel sincerely is that getting what you want or what you need is a gamble. It doesn't feel safe. You don't totally believe that you can get what you want. So you can, with a lot of, courage, you can move forward and do your best. And then some people make it and some other people don't. And in that interim, you can get caught up in like, why is it that they did it and I didn't? And life must be very unfair to me. And you can list all of the reasons why that is. Now, granted, I know and I'm aware this is not a toxic message, but there's areas in the world where people don't even have rights or access to make like choice, or to make their own choice. And that is unfair. Okay, that is extremely unfair. So when you're empathic, you can see the unfairness of the world. You can see the people that are trying to puppeteer all of us and to create massive levels of scarcity. That is very real. Okay, so you're not like, I'm not denying that. What I want to say is never give your power to entities that are trying to forcibly create a feeling of scarcity, whether it's a feeling of scarcity in like women, making them believe that the only way that they're going to get love is, I hear, if they're going to get surgery or if they need to fix whatever is going on in their body, because they create scarcity towards women. The beauty industry is $1 trillion industry. And it's not like, a lot of it is not like healthy. It has bleaching creams. It has a bunch of stuff try to make you doubt yourself. Okay. And then, there's other entities that are creating these spaces where people don't have access to choice. Now, I want you to remember something. God is your source. Okay, not the people that are trying to puppeteer you and to make you believe that this world is messed up and that there's no hope or healing for this world. Earth is a benevolent energy. It's loving it to its core. What you're seeing is the reflection of people's consciousness on scarcity and manipulation and narcissism, okay, at a bigger scale. But when you remember that God is your source, God doesn't want you to doubt yourself. And when you are capable of releasing, not letting anger cap you, right? Because of it's capping you from a place of feeling hopelessness. Then what starts to happen, the results that you're going to start to see is that you're starting to get creative ideas. You're going to meet with different people that have like are dreamers like you that are committed to creating something new, something more abundant, something that's safer for the planet. And then you can help and show the way for the people that are in these circumstances because you do have a kind heart, right? And you're not like, you do know that it might not be easy completely, but you got to do it for you and for God. You know what I mean? So whether you are an activist, I'm getting to say, whether you're somebody that cares about the world, you care about pets, you care about a multitude of like different people, and but you also care about yourself, and you see how these different things are just skewed. They're trying to make you doubt yourself. Then this message is for you, right? I had to understand that anger or the different emotions start as an emotion, but then they can become a map. They can become a consciousness. And I invite you to look at the map of consciousness. Look it up on Google, and you will see how there's like different things to it. It's like an emotion becomes a consciousness, and when it becomes a consciousness, it shapes your view of the world. And you can have different levels of consciousness, and depending on different areas of your life. So you might be more empowered in one, and you're going to see that anger is the last kind of like talk like emotion that takes life away from you. It drains you, and then it moves you into courage. If not, it drains you. And you might think, Nicole, like, but I need that anger. I need it to protect me. Not really. You know how I built my intuition? By clearing a lot of that anger, because whatever makes you defensive blocks your awareness. And how do I know anger blocks your awareness? Because when you're angry, you cannot think clearly, okay? And if you have an anger towards men, you might not be able to think clearly, and you might assume that all men are a particular way. And that might showcase in your online dating profile. You might have, I don't want this, I don't want the other, I don't want, this is like, this is, it's like all of your profile is saying anger. You know what I mean? And so a man that is conscious might recognize that anger, okay? And he might be like, well, she might just try to punish me because she hasn't healed her anger. And if you keep that anger like a badge of honor with you while you're dating, it can impact your results because you might be in competition with your partner. I'm getting some of you might have been called out about the anger by your partners. It's anger is not good. It blocks consciousness. So it's like, and I understand some people have gone through difficult things. I get it. Like I have. If you've watched some of my videos, you know that trigger warning, I have been sexually assaulted. And so I had a lot of anger within me. You know what I mean? It was killing me. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't good for me. And I remember working with people, and the more like I would clear the work that I was, the more I would clear this anger, the more I noticed that it would start to manifest. Because you know what? The more I clear the anger, the more I started to actively and truly trust myself. And I didn't need to be in people's faces screaming and yelling. I didn't need to do that. And ultimately, anger, think about it, when you're angry, then you're tired. It will start to deplete all of your B complex, all of the reserves of energy that you have in your body. And that looks like your B complex, your phosphorus, your zinc, your molybdenum, like all of the different nutrients that it will slowly start to erode them, and you feel tired. So when you have remember, I'm getting to tell you that there is my event, Clear Your Anger. Only for today, you get $600 off because it's going to be the biggest event on clearing anger for women, so that you manifest with ease from your femininity, and you don't have to put yourself out there. You're just going to magnetically start to attract more of what you want because you're releasing all of your resistance to love and pain attached to it. So the link is below. So for me, I like the more I clear that anger, the more I started to manifest, because I had betrayal wounds, I had betrayal trauma. I worked on releasing it. I didn't need to keep it with me. I'm going to say it, even I've seen that when you clear anger from your nervous system, from your aura, from your subconscious, what happens is that a lot of women even lose weight if that's what you want, because they kept an extra padding It was like the cortisol, like so activated in the back of their brain and the recesses of their brain and their nervous system, that the cortisol was impacting like how much weight they kept with them. And emotionally, some women kept that because it helped them feel safe. Sometimes, from what I've heard from clients, and this even happened to me right after the trigger warning, the sexual assault, it's like it kept you safe. Like maybe that way some people wouldn't see you. And I hope I'm being sensitive as I say this. It's like, I understand it. I believe that all women are gorgeous in all different shapes and forms. I just support you in loving yourself in the way that is right for you. So it's like, and then some women will use it like, see, that's why men don't want me, or see, this is why this is not working out. Anger, like proving yourself that some sort of kind of inadequacy, or like you cannot trust other people. It's a loop. All right. So ultimately, what I want to bring up on is that I understand how anger could have helped you manifest certain things. And you can see it a lot on TikTok. You can see it a lot on Instagram. There's so many women that are in a process of healing. And it depends on where they're going to stop, if they actually want love or not. Because some of the people that are teaching you some things don't like men, hate men, want to destroy men. They have a chaotic energy around dating and love. But it's also money. Like, anger will eventually cap you because it can give you, like I said, adrenal fatigue. It can cap, or it can create different issues in your body. Okay. And it even killed my dad in a fit of anger. He had a heart attack. You know what I mean? So, quite young, in his 50s. So, and you can be righteous. I mean, you can be an Aries, you can be a Capricorn, you can be a Libra. You know what I mean? Like, you're very righteous. You want to fight for justice. Typically, people who have energy, like they hold a lot of anger, on the inside, and it just gets to a place where you combust. So remember, that's not a healthy energy to manifest. That's going into toxic anger. Okay, I'm glad that this is resonating. Toxic anger depletes you from following your dreams, and then it becomes this loop, right? Where you go into anger and then you go into depression and sadness. Anger, depression, and sadness, like anger, hopelessness, because that's really what's happening on the inside, behind that anger. It's not power. And a lot of the people online will tell you that it's power, but then they're profiting off of your pain, and they want you to keep on in that loop because your emotions are being siphoned. And then when you speak a message of hope, of positivity, of joy, that you can actually access more joy, then they try to make you feel like you're being toxic positive. Now, I'm not telling you to bypass your emotions. I'm saying process them and give your nervous system the permission to let it go, and ultimately send out a signal to the entirety of your nervous system that you're so safe, that you can move on, but in a positive way where your soul is intact, like you're shining so bright. And the gap is that it's, I don't even know if I need to go there, but I'm here and I should. Like, there's so many different things that happen when you're angry. If I go on a spiritual level, like, how many of you heard of soul retrieval, like the soul splitting? Like, there's so much hopelessness that you can find, or like when you feel angry, I'm glad that this is connecting, that your soul can split, and it needs some TLC, some loving to come back. That is a very typical thing. So, and then that interrupts from your sense of wholeness. So yes, we see a lot of injustices in the world. That is very true. You see a lot of people, you see a lot of narcissists, for example, and they try to tear you down, right? That's another example of that. So you want to be able to interact in life with the fullness of you, and not let anger also cap your awareness. So as I was saying, one of the major benefits that you're going to get from this event, or from committing to clearing the anger and choosing to manifest from your Pacific, or like your peaceful or your joyful femininity, is you're not going to bypass the emotion, is you're not going to let anger kill you. You're not going to let anger destroy you. You're not going to let anger take you to a dark place when somebody does an injustice. What starts to happen, though, when you start to say yes to more joy, like the joy is right. If you look at the map of consciousness, joy is right under the enlightenment. Okay, joy is not attached to happiness. I need to get this exact thing to manifest with ease. No, or I need my man to be with me so I can be happy. Joy says, I trust myself so much, and I trust God so much that this is happening. So you are unfazed by a lot of things. You are aware, you want to help, right? But you're not letting it penetrate your field and slowly start to erode you, if you know what I'm trying to say. You're not letting it take away from you. And then you will start to receive ideas from God, source, your angels, your higher self. Ideas that will profit you in love, in dating, in finances. And it will help you to take care of your overall sense of well-being so that you can be a blessing to the world, a blessing to your partner, a blessing in finances for other people. If you're an activist, it's going to help you get your message across like better. You will be able to use anger to your favor. Remember, anger helps you when it moves you into courage. Look at it there. But but if it's not, then you're slowly starting to amass, or for many years, it's anger that you cannot get your way. So, what we're working on in anger is clearing those top 17 forms of anger, where you believe maybe you have an anger at knowing, believing that you cannot get your way, that life is going to be unfair to you, that all people are like this. Some people have the belief that people are toxic. So if you're in the aftermath of dealing with narcissistic people, you might feel like, well, all people are toxic. Like you're training your brain and your nervous system to look for toxicity, and then you're not trusting people. But if you add a lot of joy to your nervous system, you wholeheartedly believe that there's good people out there, and you're not letting toxic people get to you or destroy your view of the world. So it will start with ideas that will bring you money, that will bring you life, that are going to be extremely attractive to your partner, and that are also going to help you just feel safe in the world. Ultimately, I can stand by this. Behind a lot of anger, there's a lot of helplessness energy. Like I said, I was trigger warning sexually assaulted, so I felt extremely unsafe in the world, right? And I just felt like I couldn't trust anyone. So as you clear the anger and you clear the energy that's behind that, then all the energy dissipates and it can leave within days or weeks or even within the session. That's what you don't know. And I've been very committed to clear anger consciousness from my psyche, from my energy, and not putting a no to it or capping it as toxic or anything. It's not toxic. Like, I have a right to experience joy, and I also respect where people are at and what they want to experience. You know what I mean? And I don't want you to feel invisible in that. I want to help you feel powerful. Okay, that no matter what, you got you. Even if you never want to date again, but you want to just feel safe on the inside, then I can help you, right? Like wherever you're at, I'm not wronging you. So I invite you to consider how anger can be subtly or overtly impacting your energy, like what you're attracting, because I'm not shaming the emotion. I'm saying there's a lot of invisibility behind it. You might feel like people are not going to, you know, love you, chase you. They're not going to take care of you. You might feel like no one's going to help you in the world. There's a lot of core emotions that are behind that I promise you we will clear it so that you release that weight, that pain, and you are free and you actually allow yourself to attract love. For whatever reason, I don't know if you can see, like, I have natural hair, and I'm getting to tell you about that story. I had like an aunt on the phone telling me the day before I decided to cut off my hair because I was so miserable. She told me no man is going to want you, if you cut off your hair. And I had so many people tell me that I would never be chosen, like if I was my authentic self. And up until that point, I had been single. I hadn't attracted anyone in my life. It was a defense mechanism because I felt so invisible. And I said, I would rather choose me. I would rather choose me. I didn't choose anger. I was choosing anger up until that point. And a lot of the women out here that are listening to me, you felt angry because you felt like men haven't seen you, they haven't recognized your beauty, and you've become kind of bitter about it. Okay. And I was bitter up until that point. I didn't know it, but that's what was happening. So I decided I would rather choose me. I chose peace. I chose my inner joy. But what happened within me, I didn't keep that added or padded layer of anger within me. I just said, whatever. I'm happy if I just choose me. And I access a joy within. And then next thing you know, I used to, I had like split ends. I never wanted to cut them because I felt like men would only like long hair. This was me being a teenager and whatnot in my early 20s. So I cut off my hair, and next thing you know, men started to notice me. Why was that? My heart was full of me, and I wasn't angry at men. I started to notice actually how a lot of men started to notice me and ask me out. And the women around me started to look at me down like I was disgusting. Okay, it was very interesting. And they will huff and puff and be like, no one is going to choose you because they believed the lie, you know. And then right behind them, there were men who would salute me, would greet me, start to ask me out because I wasn't envious, I wasn't angry, I just chose me. So, and I was open, my energy was open. And typically, when you're angry, your energy is not open, it's repelling because you're so angry. And I hear sometimes you don't want to repeat past mistakes and you don't really trust that someone is going to love you. So it's repelling because it's like you're being a danger to yourself too, like with so much accumulated anger. So I've even helped clients who were on like online for like months or years, not attracting barely any attraction online, and they were using that against them. You know what I mean? And it's like once we worked on that, people started to reach out to them. Okay, so it's safe to be loved. That's what I'm going to stay with you. And if you wanted to join peace, if you wanted to join clear your anger to manifest with joy, like truly, like joyfully, we're going to clear anger and we're going to be programming in joy so that you attract with more ease and you get all the creative ideas that God wants you to have, and that support you not only in your love life but also in your business. And you're going to see that you're going to become so magnetic that there people are going to want to know what are you up to, and they're going to buy from you. They're going to like look up for you because anger is not the ultimate source of power. There's an openness that needs to happen in order for you to be magnetic. And I hope that this clicks. Watch this video. Remember that the early bid is just for today. You get $600 off of Clear Your Anger. We're clearing the top 17 beliefs that create anger in your field, and we're programming in joy so that you manifest blissfully because that's what you deserve. All right. So it's for, what's the truth? It's only for $1,111 for today. After today is $1,800. All right. It's a deep program because I'm going to be very committed to it. What we're going to do in this session is that I'm going to help you release at a level of kinesiology and your auras, like similar to angel Reiki, with the help of your angels. But first, we're going to do the nervous system reprogramming, where we're going to, through kinesiology, helping you release core beliefs of anger. And you need to, for some cases, have your eyes closed. You need to be in a quiet space. And I'm going to show you how to release these beliefs from your nervous system. Each statement that we're going to be doing, it's going to give your nervous system the order and the instruction to release that limiting belief wherever it's located at in your nervous system or in your aura. And there's also 10 angelic Reiki sessions where they help you release any limiting beliefs around anger in your aura and in your chakras. All right. The sessions are live. The angel Reiki sessions are recorded and you can do whenever you want. The live sessions where we're doing the kinesiology sessions are not recorded because they're so effective that once you release them, they're gone. The only way in which they can kind of come back is if you went through something extremely traumatic. But even if they do, even if it's they never come back to the point like that because you're helping your nervous system to feel so at peace that it can handle this kind of negativity. You're training it to for success. Last but not least, I want you to know too that one of the reasons why you might be feeling a lot of anger and helplessness in nowadays is because of some of these short form social media videos. Why? Because your brain is wired to survive, not to succeed. This is an important message. So what does that mean? If you're watching short form videos that have to trigger you into putting music that is like activates your adrenals because it makes you feel panic, if you have to watch clips that are changing every 2 seconds, if you know that that impacts a baby and it makes them rage out, throw the iPad, do all those things, what makes you think that it's not going to impact your capacity for emotion, and what you feel? So if you're constantly in doom scrolling, okay, it's doom that like it's adding doom to your thoughts, it's going to a deeply survival part of your brain where it doesn't feel like you can get what you want. You're not wired for success, and this has been happening for years, and nobody's meant to be in a doom frequency for years on end without stop. Rewire yourself to success and for joy before it's too late, before you start become anxious and you started going in a bunch of different, you doubt yourself even further and you start to experience FOMO, okay? You start becoming cynical about the world. the angels have always said, watch these videos before, like after 3 p.m., when you get a sense of your world. Let your nervous system reprogram itself to your regular or like a bigger optimism, and you train yourself that you can do it and that you are provided and taken care of by God. Okay? No doom scrolling. I want you to become very aware of that and take care of yourself so that you protect your emotions, you protect your joy like it's your currency. Okay? Because it's what helps you win. Anger is not your biggest currency, joy is. Okay? You process the anger though. This is not spiritually bypassing. You face what's making you sad. You process those things, okay? And you say yes to joy. And it's not going to be something that's going to make you cry or anything like that, or you're going to be in a helpless space. No, it's actually very peaceful to release these things and you feel lighter. Typically, clients, when they do these sessions, they're like, oh my God, I just feel lighter. They might feel tired like the day that they did the session. They go to sleep and they feel lighter the next day. They tell me, Nicole, I feel more peaceful. Nicole, like this. It was so easy. Like I was holding on to these beliefs, suppressing them for months or for years, and I just released it so quickly. How is that? Well, all of that is possible, okay? And we are just going to clear the belief systems and we're going to program in the positive. And it also helps to program in the positive. We don't always have to, but you're basically giving yourself, like asking your nervous system to let itself off the hook and holding to this negative belief system so that you can truly manifest with ease. You're loved, you're safe, you're protected, and you deserve all the love in the world. So take care. Join me on Clear Your Anger, and it's going to be an amazing journey.